We gather as many drops, each winding our own path down life's surfaces and routes. Here, we pull together as a single body, flowing together for a time. Together, we are a stream, at times even a river, for with our shared force, we can travel toward oceans of meaning and seas of connection. Come, let us worship together. I invite you guys and body or spirit to join our voices in our opening hymn. This morning has broken number 38 in the steel hymnal. Oh, sorry, the regular hymnal. Yeah. of flowing. The water flows on until it collects in ponds, lakes, seas, and vast oceans. And all the while the sun's rays warm the water, calling it back into vapor, into the higher atmosphere, buoyant and swirling up to where the air grows cool, and the water vapor flows and cools and begins to turn again back to droplets. Droplets find droplets and join together again and again, forming clouds, growing heavier and heavier, until at last the weight of them pulls them down again, and rain falls on the surface of Earth again. Everywhere on Earth at every moment, somewhere in this cycle upon cycle, falling, flowing, sinking, rising, again and again and again. Let's embody the cycle, join with me. The rain falls, the rivers flow, the water sinks, and the vapors rise and repeat over and over. The rain falls, the river flows, the water sinks, and vapors rise and repeat in the never-ending cycle. One more. Rain falls, river flows, water sinks, and vapors rise, repeating over and over and over again. Welcome. Thank you. Our planet has all the water it will ever have and has ever had. This water cycle has been spiraling around and around for more than 4.5 billion years. This means that the water we gather in our annual rituals comes from all over the world and also from across all time on Earth. The water we gather today has traveled through the root systems of trees long since returned to soil, birds from geysers that ceased spraying thousands of years ago, and flowed down rivers that have changed course entirely over billions of years. This morning, we also remember that the water cycle doesn't only involve rivers and plants and clouds, but also involves creatures. The water cycles through us, too, coming in and out of our bodies in many different ways. That means that the molecules in the water you gathered to bring here today could have been in the tears of joy and sorrow cried by the first person who ever felt love, or that water from our church sink contained within it molecules that were once in the best chicken soup someone ever ate, or in the sweat of the people who built our house, or in the blood of the mothers that birthed our grandmothers. So, what and when and where else do you imagine this water has been? I invite you to yell out or type some ideas into the chat box. Maybe some rainbows? China? Cats alive, well done, yeah. Anyone else?
A moat.
A moat? Well done, yeah. Anyone else?
A comet.
A comet? Okay, well done. Thank you all. As we gather the waters of community this morning, let us remember that they connect us to everything that has ever been and everything that ever will be. That is the power of the water we share. Thanks for listening. Please remain seated for our prayer number 347 in the gray hymnal. And the silence that follows the spoken prayer. You are invited to come forward and light a candle for any joys or concerns you hold in your heart this morning. Spirit of love and light, source of all that is, may you join us in this space imbued with an unceasing love, committed to the sentiment that every blessed being knows what it means to belong, where compassion flows as an endless stream. Divine Spirit, may isolation melt away as we each access the inherent goodness held deep within each being in this restless and anxious world, in this beautiful and beloved world, where we may all be held together in a never-ending web of interconnection, carried on a river of unconditional goodness. We are bound together by that which gives us life, by love, by faith, and by all that is holy. held and embraced by the finite and the infinite, well by all that is profane and all that is divine, that flows among us and between us as if a stream. May each being know what it means to receive love, to offer love, and to access that inherent love held deep within. That divine sacred love that embraces us all. May every being know what it means to belong exactly as they are, as a blessed and whole being. May it be so, and amen. I light a candle for the joys and concerns of the beloved joining us virtually. And I light a candle for all those that we hold in our hearts and in our minds this morning. If your heart is hurting, know that your community is here to help as and I. Please reach out with anything.
John Saxon wrote, "A religious community is like a river formed from the many streams of our lives that meet and merge and flow to the sea. As members and friends of this religious community, we share our time and energy, our creativity, imagination, and vision, our talents, skills, and gifts, and the streams of our individual lives to create a river that is both deep and broad, a river that is made of many streams, sustains life, and refreshes the land through which it flows. But the river of this community also depends on our shared financial support that makes real our shared values and visions. We will now receive an offering for the support of this religious community and this work in the world. You are invited to give generously and joyfully as you are willing and able. For those of you watching the service online, you may contribute to a virtual offering plate using the donate button on our website or by mailing a check to the church box. I invite the ushers forward to receive the offering. For all that you give and all that you do for our church community and its wider concerns, we give thanks. which, though invisible to our outward eye, feels just as real as does a stream of water when we step into it. Just as bathing in a real stream of pure flowing water needs no justification to one who has experienced the vitality it brings, so entering into the stream of worship needs no justification to one who has experienced the healing, the peace, the renewal, the expansion which accompanies this altered state of consciousness. I invite you to rise and body or spirit to join our voices in hymn 100 in the great hymnal, I've Got Peace Like a River.
This past March, I spent a blessed month at a Quaker retreat center, immersed in the sacred teaching of this life-giving faith. Throughout this holy and intentional time, I joined other spiritual sojourners. We traveled together on a faith journey beyond the secular world. We entered a space that was sacred and divine imbued with spirit. The retreat was a time away from time, labyrinth walks, nature walks, and a worship space that spanned the generations. We entered the worship space filled with wooden benches set in a semicircle, encouraging shared worship. We entered a half hour of intentional silence that offered the opportunity for those in attendance to rise and share what was on their hearts. During our first morning in that space, I sat silently and contemplatively, focusing on the breath and my heart rate. While finding myself centered and at greater peace, I was about to learn more. After worship, we were invited into a small group conversation. Here, under the guidance of the retreat leader, I learned the true meaning of worship. The Quakers hold a profoundly beautiful belief, that of the divine stream flowing beneath the floor where we gather, intangible, yet present nonetheless. The sacred stream, the Quakers call God or Spirit. It binds each of us together in the invisible flow of all we hold divine. We then welcome the Spirit into us and between us, creating a space of connection and belonging to each other and the divine. The Spirit is heard when a participant stands up and offers their musing. That person feels driven to share from a deep place in their heart as the Spirit speaks through them. Quaker author William Taylor offers that just as one becomes joyful while immersed in a tangible stream, enjoying the benefits of cool water during a hot summer day, so too is the metaphorical stream, joyful and life-giving. He offers that one centers in the healing, the peace, the renewal, felt deeply in this space of shared worship. I offer this stream remains with us when we re-enter the secular world. We can access it whenever our spirit needs sustenance. It unites us to one another just as it unites us to divinity. It offers a sense of serenity and peace within. It offers spiritual renewal. On all of my subsequent days in that worship space, I felt a much deeper connection to all I hold holy. I heard my sacred whispered wisdom, using the truth which I tried to capture in a special notebook. I felt an overflowing of faith and interconnection, whether my companions on the spiritual journey or of the sacred flowing below us. Let us contemplate the metaphor of groundwater, always below the surface, hidden beneath rocks and soil. It is crucial to the survival of all living beings. The water is always ready to be drawn upon in times of need, sustaining each and every blessed being on this blessed ground. Can you see the comparison with streams of love, radical welcome, compassion, and hope? This month's theme of belonging is apropos to our current societal and cultural situation. We are in the midst of a harrowing loneliness epidemic as relationships weaken and isolation becomes the norm. Young people are immersed in social media, always on devices. Neighbors residing in small communities remain strangers. We see less of our busy friends as texts have replaced intimate, in-person conversations, as streaming has replaced shared dinners. So many of us lack trusted confidants with whom we share our deepest secrets and yearnings. All of this promotes isolation and profound loneliness. We are relational beings. We need one another. Our current political situation fuels a distressing disconnect. We may be fearful, frustrated, and angry every time we watch the news, not knowing what is yet to come, or even what is happening at this very moment. This breeds anxiety, distrust, and divisiveness. In our isolation, we become hopeless. So do we just throw our hands up in defeat? What is the antidote to our loneliness? My answer comes not only from research, but also various spiritual traditions. The antidote to loneliness is belonging. Let us return to the divine stream flowing below Quakers as they become immersed in all things sacred and holy. What other hidden and tangible streams lie below our feet at this very moment that we're to draw upon in navigating our fleeting life? What else offers belonging, healing, and purpose? I know that when I feel overwhelmed, I need to draw upon sources of calm and tranquility. That's when I am impatient, I need to access mindfulness. That's when I am distracted and distraught, I need to connect with intention. We cannot delve deep into an understanding of all of these streams, but we can work to understand agape love and radical love. Agape love. We are familiar with the ideas of love between partners or siblings or cherished companions. And this is so profoundly needed as an antidote to our loneliness epidemic and should be sought out and cherished. We need companions to love. Agape love is different from this. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. brought agape love to the forefront of our culture during the Civil Rights Movement, countering hate with love in nonviolent resistance. He said, darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. He extended agape love to those who could easily be understood as enemies in his fight for justice. And what he offered was profound. Agape love is unconditional, offering compassion to all. It is a true desire for peace and well-being for every soul on this sacred earth. King offered that. As we extend agape love to those who have caused harm, we can simultaneously oppose their actions and ideologies. This, to me, is key. We can love, but we oppose their actions. I furthermore think about interpersonal conflict and extending this wish for the well-being of those who may have harmed us, to those who lied or judged or cheated. I likewise interpret agape love as loving those we will never even meet. The farmer in Costa Rica, the musician in Brazil, the orphan in New York City. This love is expansive and all-encompassing and binds us together in a sacred and holy way. Agape love is universal and seeks nothing in return, not gratitude or accolades. It offers a profound and meaningful way of living and of engaging with the world. We overcome our own fear and anger and prejudice and animosity that can easily be fostered. And offering and practicing agape love, wishing goodwill becomes a habit. We can love all humanity infinitely and unconditionally, bringing more of what this broken and beautiful world needs. Love, acceptance, compassion, and belonging. Radical welcome is deep just as it is intentional. It is not by accident, but with purpose. This is the for each blessed being, yes, and it is highlighted in particular to those of marginalized identities, spanning race, ability, sexuality, ethnicity, or socioeconomic status, for example. It extends furthermore to anyone who is isolated, who feels broken or alone, or that there must be something wrong with them. Young cows in the streets, the teenager with no friends, the addict who is trying simply to survive. Everyone can feel a strong sense of belonging, offered with genuine care. It is not saying we will make space for you when or if you join us. It's about seeking out those who need belonging and creating a welcoming space before they even arrive. Radical Welcome is about transformation for all involved. Every person has something to offer, whether music, artwork, creativity, intellect, joy, compassion, skills, wisdom, strength. My creativity is inspired by your wisdom. My intellect is stimulated by your music. I have personally gathered so much compassion and strength from all of those I've served as a chaplain. It is a celebration of each blessed being. Diversity in all forms inspires us toward growth, joy, and abundance. And Radical Welcome is more than this. Radical Welcome is a spiritual practice. It is theological, woven throughout our own faith traditions. Our forebears, the founders of our faith, preach that every person holds goodness within, that this goodness is inherent in humans and in the divine spirit, that everyone is saved, no one is damned. Radical welcome in this realm and into the next. Everyone is included in heaven, which to many theologians is the here and now. Heaven on earth where we care for the least of these, as we pray and worship, as we work for justice and equity. We are here to work to make sure all cherish and that justice reigns. Each person, no matter their transgressions, has an inner and innate goodness and wholeness within them. The thief, the adulterer, the liar. No one is exempt, but has the opportunity to transform and reform. And Radical Welcome is spiritual as we highlight the tenets of love, compassion, forgiveness, and faith, held deeply and reverently in Unitarian Universalism. No matter what, if you join in shared values, you are welcome. It is a stream of spiritual companionship we dip into as we support each other on our theological journeys, whether theistic or atheistic or agnostic. There is a stream that flows below us, each of us, a reservoir to draw upon in each moment of each day. To those of our faith, perhaps this stream is not God as the Quakers understand it, because not all of us believe in God. But perhaps an essence or a flow of divine spirit, of love and light, something spiritual that brings us joy and purpose and meaning. Below our feet, we have everything we need to change how we interact with this broken and beautiful world, to bring more goodness, love, compassion, and justice to the world, stripping us of our woes and offering instead that which is life-giving. It is agape love. It is radical love. It is peace and joy and safety and compassion. It is groundwater, crucial to the survivor of all living beings. And this building, made holy by our presence, in these hues and views of the sacred, we have created a place where no one needs to feel lonely. We are drawn together and held together in faith, in worship, in hope, in joy, in lament, in universal goodness, in forgiveness, acceptance, and in working for justice. In agape love and radical welcome. A space where none of us are alone. Just as the Quakers, this stream connects us to the divine, just as it connects us to one another. May we offer friendship, may we offer spiritual sojourners, intimate conversation, and in-person companionship. May we offer theological discussions, simple joy and contagious laughter, whether in the sanctuary, in coffee hour at our church office. May we offer everyone unconditional love and a sincere wish for well-being and an opportunity to thrive. Today we join together to celebrate water communion. I wonder if this is a tangible piece of the stream we have in reference to. The water we have here is a vessel for water communions of times past, connecting us to all that was, and ours will be added to all that will be. We are spiritual sojourners, bound together by those drops of faith and values held throughout the generations. So may we add this tangible water to that metaphorical stream below us as we return it to the earth. May those who enter our space of worship always have access to acceptance and welcome and faith and joy and purpose that flows ceaselessly in the stream below us, around us, between us, connecting the profane to the divine. May everyone know love. May everyone know radical welcome. In this space made sacred by our presence, may everyone belong. May it be so, and amen. In this moment, I invite us into a sacred ritual. This is a holy moment, my friends, as our hearts and souls mix and mingle and become one blessed whole. In just a moment, I will invite each of you forward as we join together in a sacred act of sharing our water and the meaning it holds. You'll have an opportunity to pour a bit of your water into a shared vessel. I invite you to reflect on the meaning this water holds to you. Perhaps the water symbolizes sacred connection, your connection with community, with loved ones, with nature, or your spiritual journey. You may share your reflections with the congregation at this moment on the microphone, alone with me, or simply release your water into our bowl in silence as we hold one another in love, light, and care. If you did not bring water with you today, we have a pitcher up front containing water from the sacred blessing. You are invited to pour this water into our communal vessel and reflect on the connections that may have been meaningful to you this summer. Those joining us on Zoom, following the reflections of those here in the sanctuary, we will invite you to share your water and reflect with us. Those gathered in the sanctuary, please come forward. Okay. So this water means to me, it holds in my heart my divine sacred love for nature, where it connected to the trees, and the green streams, and the birds, and insects. And so this summer I gathered water from a beautiful place that I'm taking with my husband.
This water symbolizes connection with cousins as we gather together in grief and in delight.
This water comes from a distant star that exploded and blew out the elements that fused to form the water, which was humble enough to become a stream flowing behind my house. One day when the earth is no more, perhaps it will settle on another world, become another stream, flowing on some other entity.
review Woodstock Water, representing the efforts of my neighbors to redo our landscaping this year, and the cooperative effort of all of us to keep the ditches with water and grow.
This water is a remembrance of great times with friends, in the wild.
This water came from my garden hose, and it nurtured my garden during the blistering hot June to July, and produced incredible vegetables. And my son loved my yellow beans especially, and would ask me constantly, "Mom, are there any more beans left? Can you get some more beans?" And I said, "I can only do what they should give." And my hubby, Dave, he loves the cherry tomatoes because they're very sweet, and me, I just love watching them grow. I just like to see their little heads sticking up through the dirt, producing wonderful trees. So, it's good.
This is from our vacation, the family's on vacation, we got sick with COVID, but don't worry about it, we're fine. Anyway, making the best of the situation, you know, bummer in the summer, right? My water is just from my kitchen tap, but it's something that my husband and I do to purify it, and we have a ritual every evening. We have to drink the water for the rest of the day. I think it's funny because we put it in a copper container and it's stored with the copper. So it's okay.
My water represents a wonderful lake in northern England, Lake Windermere, that we went to this summer, and it was just so inspiring. But I've also got a very short poem to read to you about one of my favorite poets, E.E. Cummings, about the healing power of water, whether it's going to a beach or it's an ocean. It's called Molly and Baby, and I have to increase this. May and Millie and Molly and May went down to the beach to play one day, and May remembered a shell that sang so sweetly she couldn't remember the colors. And Millie befriended a stranded star whose rays 5 languid fingers were. And Molly was chased by a water thing which raced sideways while blowing bubbles. And May came home with a smooth round stone, as small as the world and as large as a loam. Or whatever we produce, either you or a me, it's always ourselves we find in the sea.
The ocean, and I just love watching all the people and the sun. I know that, it's like, and the other is so many years of doing water over the cold, all summer with friends for 35 years and 50 years.
This one represents two amazing trips we did this last year, the beautiful waterway. We spent 9 days on the Mississippi River on the riverboat, and we were able to enjoy the mighty Niagara Falls and sail around it in and around. So it's amazing, beautiful, and really active areas of the country, and very special.
We're going to represent all the freshwater bodies that Jim and I have fished with.
Water is in remembrance of our trip in now, Lisa, this year. I'll also take some water from the game. Water time.
Okay, I wanted to go last because mine is heavy and metaphorical. I talked to Nancy today, she reminded me that I talked about my grandma last year, and I couldn't remember the context. So I thought I'd talk about it a little differently. This is about everybody's summer, not just mine. This water represents the water that carried my ancestors from Japan, from Ireland, from Poland, from Russia, from Lithuania, from Germany, without this water that carries us and quenches us, we would not be blessed to live in this beautiful tapestry of humanity in which we are present right now. Let us now share the reflections from those on Zoom. If you would like not to share, I invite you to turn off your camera. If you would like to share, raise your hand and Patrick will unmute you. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. I would just mention, I appreciate your arranging for the rainstorm this morning. It was perfect for today. And so blessed with those of us who are gardeners.
Oh, she thank you for this morning's rainstorm. Now it's a blessing because we're going to be on both like the garden. Thank you. Okay, I now add to this vessel water from years past, binding us together for the generations, and
those beloved who came before us.
You couldn't hear me, I was adding our water from today to the water time. And now, we'll make our place in the history of this church, adding our own water to this vessel, which will now join us with the generations yet to come. May we now bless this water which has been made sacred by our share. Join me in a responsive reading, lifting up the words of Rama Hamami. Hannah will lead us in the response, this water is sacred. This water is sacred. It is made sacred by the many hands that have poured it with intention and love, the many stories that each drop contains, the many lives surrounding it in this unique moment, connected by commitment and faith.
This water is sacred.
May it continue to flow through this community with shining reflections of the unique gifts that flow through each of its members.
This water is sacred.
May it continue to nurture this community with sustaining hope that we journey together through its ripples of growth and change.
This water is sacred.
May it continue to bless this community with loving reminders of our collective responsibility to one another and the world.
This water is sacred.
May its ripples be a reminder that the changes and growth within this community bring movement and transformation to the world beyond our doors.
This water is sacred.
May its purity offer grace to our community and the willingness to forgive ourselves and one another when we make mistakes.
This water is sacred.
In moments when we are confused or uncertain, may it bring us clarity of purpose and commitment.
This water is sacred.
In moments when the reservoirs of our hearts and spirits are drained by sorrow or pain, may it nourish them with the knowledge that we are surrounded by a deep and abundant love.
This water is sacred.
Blessed be, and amen. Please rise in body or spirit to join our voices in hymn 16 in the great hymnal, "'Tis a Gift to be Simple." May we leave this hallowed space, knowing we are bound together by an unceasing love that flows forever beneath us. United by a shared faith and an essence of endless compassion. May we enter the stream that gives us life, the reservoir that sustains us, as in each of our days, we are offered each sacred and blessed being in the finest realm, faith, companionship, goodness, and love. Go in peace and honor.